evening, members of the board. Charles Prattville, New Brunswick resident, editor of New Brunswick Today. I wanted to start by saying that it's obvious that something's going very well at the Lincoln Annex, based on how many students did so well on the exams. And I just wanted to learn a little bit more about what an annex means. What does that distinction mean? You know, we have a couple schools that are right next to each other, Redshaw and Livingston, but they're not an annex of one another, whereas we have Lincoln and Lincoln Annex, which are several blocks apart, and they're an annex. Can somebody just enlighten me as to what the difference is between it being two separate schools and it being an annex?
It's just in a name because when we purchased the old St. Peter's School from the Diocese of Metuchen, we weren't sure what use it was going to have. Eventually it morphed into being Lincoln School, but we already had a Lincoln School. We didn't know if that would continue, so it's just a name. That's all it is. It might have become permanent as the new Lincoln School. It might not have, depending upon the use. It morphed into being the Lincoln School right now, but it's still the Lincoln School Annex. That's the official name. It's just a name.
Okay. And of course, at the last meeting, I did bring up the rumors that Robert Wood Johnson is trying to buy it, and you know, the answer at that point was no comment at this time. So I'm here back again. I'd like to ask if there's any update on the Lincoln Annex. Is the Board of Education still entertaining offers to sell the Lincoln Annex?
Well, just so you know, I'm the board attorney. There's been no offers, no communications. Any dealings in real estate must be in writing. So there's rumors swirling around. I mean, I even had the Diocese of Metuchen call me and say, are we selling it? What's going on? I'm the board attorney. I handle all real estate transactions, purchases, leases, contracts, receipt of offers. As I sit here today, I have no knowledge of what you're talking about. I know there are rumors out there. There's been some substantial proposal put forth by the state of New Jersey about building a cancer center. Where it's going to be located, I don't know, but I'm telling you officially as a board attorney, I know nothing about this.
Thank you. Can the board promise that there will be notice of any sale to the public? Is there anything that needs to be done to sell the school besides just a resolution of the board, a vote?
No, I think you have to have money changing hands. There have to be resolutions. There have to be posted in our agenda. There have to be hearings. If there's a contract to purchase or to sell, it always comes before the public. That's generically, and this would be no different.
Right, and so you mentioned resolutions, and so the reason I ask is because your agenda typically does not come out until a few hours before the meeting. It was posted today about 2 p.m., about 5 hours before the meeting. What I'm asking is, can you promise, as the board, can you promise me and the New Brunswick community that if there is a resolution to sell the Lincoln Annex School, that you'll give us a full month's notice, that you'll tell us at the meeting before that the vote's going to be at the next meeting, and we won't get just added to an agenda the day of?
Yes.
You can promise that.
As a board attorney, I'll make that representation. Yes, if there's anything going forward for a purchase or a sale or a lease, I don't know, there would be adequate public notice, and I'm not talking 5 hours. There would be plenty of notice.
Okay, super. Thank you for that. Can you, the board, promise me and the community that you will not close the Lincoln School or the Lincoln Annex until a new replacement school is ready to open?
You're way ahead of the game. I don't know what you're talking about. If there's going to be a purchase or a sale of that facility, we have to have another facility in place.
Great. That's good to hear. The reason I ask these things is because I am aware of the Cancer Institute project, and as recently as today, asked a question of our governor and the president of DevCo, and they had an opportunity to deny outright that the Lincoln Annex was their preferred site, and did not deny it. In fact, they kind of hinted that it would be there because they said it needs.
We can't rely on
Well, they said
I'm an attorney. You've got to deal with writings, proposals.
Okay, then please go to Mr. Palladino's Facebook page, and you can see where he's announced the countdown of the opening of the Rutgers Cancer Institute, and has stated that they plan to begin construction in the fall of 2020, this time next year.
Mr. Hendricks, if I may, you know, the board wishes nothing but to have full transparency with the community. Like you know, Mr. Hendricks has already told you, same thing goes, you know, from the last meeting. We do not have any official offers. However, we are aware that they are interested in that location. There was a meeting last week. DEPCO called their district, had a meeting with Mr. Janarone and Mr. LaDolce, where the possibility was discussed. However, like Mr. Hendricks has informed you, there is nothing on paper official. There is no official offer. And so for the time being, yes, we are aware that there is interest. However, there is nothing official. And this board will not make any decisions without taking all of our students' best interests in mind. Also, this is a decision that would definitely require us to involve the community in one way or another in the form of notification as to what will happen.
Thank you for that. And I'm just again concerned because of the timeline that Robert Wood has publicly stated for their $750 million development project. And so if they want that site and they want to start construction this time next year, I don't see how that can work because there's no replacement school ready and you can't build one that quick.
Your concern is the same as ours.
Excellent. Thank you for that. I won't belabor these points, but I do just want to touch on an issue that came up prior in the year. So at one of your meetings earlier this year, the BA cited a state law that requires the school's development authority to be involved in all capital improvement projects that are cost more than $500,000. I pushed back by saying the Lincoln Annex was an example of where that law wasn't followed, but it turns out that part of the law was essentially repealed in January 2016, less than 9 months before the Lincoln Annex opened. And I know that the bill that was adopted in January 2016 and signed in 2016 was S3247, A4928, and when it was adopted by one of the committees, Senator Teresa Ruiz was quoted as saying, that this was a direct request from the SDA for them to pass this bill, eliminating that cap or that threshold. And quote is, "There are districts that have funding in place and projects that exceed the $500,000 cap, and because of the nuance in the law, they're unable to begin those projects." Can you tell me, was the Lincoln Annex one of those projects that was the reason the law was changed?
Mr. General?
No, I don't believe our project had anything to do with the law being changed. They have changed the law because districts like ours have struggled building schools with SDA, because like Red Shaw School, it takes 12 years. And we know, like our North Sterling School that we built in 1999, 2000, we can build schools ourselves. So I think they finally listened to districts who said they can build schools ourselves, and that's why they changed the law. The difference is they are not going to fund you if you build it yourself. So where we really are still, I would say, not using the word arguing, but we're arguing our point is you should still be paying for it and let us do it ourselves. We've proven the ability to do that.
Understood. And I appreciate you informing me about that. I don't know why that law was changed, but I do think that the local district should play a greater role in your facilities plan, and that's one of the reasons that I'm coming here tonight to talk about the Lincoln Annex School, because like I said, obviously it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. We got a functioning school in a neighborhood that needs one. I think we need to continue that and certainly not make any changes next year. So if I could just finish this by saying, if there's anybody here who came out specifically because of this issue, if you came out here and you want to see the Lincoln Annex School stay, just please stand so the board can see everybody who's here for the Lincoln Annex School to support.
Mr. Tyler, you're out of order.
I apologize. I just wanted you to see the support for the school here, and thank you for your time. Have a great evening.
Also, I'm here to support Mr. Travis, what he's saying about the school. As we can see, how big New Brunswick High School is, the number of awards you gave out, and the difference between Lincoln Annex, where you gave out just as many to show, wow, that's one of your smartest schools in New Brunswick, I can see. And there's also one of your #1 students from Lincoln Annex. So yes, to where I pray that you do not change the kids to another school to where you distract yourself, what you would be focused to where they're settled in one location, how they will have to try to get adjusted to a new location, just like when you're moving in a house. I say it would be the same thing with school. So please, to where we see how smart the kids are and how great they're doing, please do not sell the school and transfer to a location. Please, we're begging you on that. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. And I think really quickly, I know that there were quite a few of you that stood up as Lincoln Annex parents. I do just want to acknowledge you for coming here and for being so interested in the future of your children's schools. And just so you know, one of my own children attends Lincoln Annex, and so, I mean, needless to say, our board is very dedicated and committed to the well-being of all of our students and maintaining a school building where they can continue to learn so effectively like they're doing now. Again, we always strive to keep the children's best interest at heart. Okay, so again, thank you for coming out. We really do appreciate your concerns.
Muy buenas noches, mi nombre es Cándido y soy residente de la ciudad de Brunswick.
Good evening, my name is Cándido, I'm a resident of the city of Brunswick.
Y el motivo de hoy que yo estoy aquí presente es porque así como el señor Charlie ha comentado acerca de la escuela Lincoln Annex.
So he's here to continue commenting about Lincoln Annex.
He escuchado que han dicho que no hay nada oficial, no hay papeles firmados todavía.
So I understand that there's nothing official and there are not signed papers.
Pero también he escuchado por personas que tienen poder o que sí tienen poder en la ciudad de New Brunswick. He escuchado que hay planes para esa escuela, hay planes para vender.
I have heard from people who are in power in New Brunswick that there are plans to sell Lincoln Annex.
No sé qué tan cierto sea eso, pero yo sí quiero preguntarles a ustedes o que se comprometan que esto no puede pasar. Han tirado demasiadas escuelas.
So I just want to ask the board that this cannot happen.
Han tirado muchas escuelas y necesitamos que en lugar de que tiren, hagan escuelas. Hay escuelas en las cuales están en malas condiciones.
So there have been several schools that have been demolished, and we shouldn't be demolishing schools, we should be building schools.
Así que lo único que pido es que se comprometan y prometan que nada de eso va a pasar en la ciudad de New Brunswick mientras los padres de esos niños que están en esas escuelas no estén de acuerdo.
And I would like to ask you to promise that nothing of that's going to happen in New Brunswick.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Miguel. I'm a city of New Brunswick resident, and I'm here in support of keeping the annex open. I think it's very strange that the board starts the conversation by saying, well, and, in this case, saying, oh, there are no formal offers or nothing in paper, but said, you're saying, oh, there's been informal talks about it. So, and from our side, the neighborhood has heard that there's people in power that know about this still happening, but you're still denying it. So, I just think it's just really weird that you're not like coming up with a solution for building a school before you decide to sell another school. So I hope that you would your wisdom decide to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Diego. I am a Annex student. I'm here because I was informed that they're gonna sell the school to Robert Johnson. And I think it's okay, but at one point I think that it's wrong because you have taken out too many schools. And it's wrong because, well, if you have schools, you shouldn't be just taking them away, but maybe you should sell other land to the hospital because there are larger parts in New Brunswick that they can make another center for them to work at, and it doesn't just affect me, but the whole school because people are just starting to go there, and if you do have any plans, you have to inform everyone in the school. And I just want to ask you if you are really gonna sell the school, and if you are, then I just want to say that you better have something like a new school waiting for us to open before they sell the school to Robert Wood Johnson, so that we don't have to wait for another school to open for us. Thank you.
And thank you for coming up and having the courage to address the board. We appreciate your comments.
Buenas noches a todos. Soy Elizabeth Sánchez. También estoy hablando en representación de la escuela Annex. Tengo un hijo ahí.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Sanchez, and I also want to comment on the Lincoln Annex School.
También me gustaría que de parte de ustedes se comprometieran de verdad de que la escuela no la van a cerrar o la van a vender, pero de verdad que se comprometieran, que ustedes nos dijeran no se va a vender, y de ser así que tengan ya en planes una nueva escuela para ellos.
So I would like to ask the board to promise that the school is not going to be sold, and if you decide to sell, before doing so, to have another school open for our students.
Yo confío en que ustedes van a tener la mejor decisión, ya que pienso que su prioridad de todos ustedes que nos están representando también a nosotros como comunidad latina es de que nuestros niños tengan una buena educación.
And I trust that you're going to make the right decision, and I know that your priority is the best for our students.
En otras ocasiones hemos venido aquí a luchar por nuestros niños, porque tengan escuelas dignas.
In other occasions, we have come to the Board of Education to ask or to fight for good, dignified schools for our students.
La escuela Lincoln Elementary School, la primaria, tenía una sobrepoblación de niños. Yo creo que eso ustedes lo sabían desde años atrás. En esa escuela no tienen aire acondicionado. En tiempo de calor los niños sufren esa consecuencia. Entonces se hizo parte de Lincoln Annex School, se dividieron. Entonces, ¿por qué ustedes ahora están en planes
are Hispanic and not Latinos and not white.
Porque hemos tenido no solo este problema, ha habido problemas de transportación en lo que ustedes solo han dicho que debido a recortes se ha recortado los medios de transporte de los niños, de los cuales muchos de ellos toman el autobús público para llegar a sus escuelas.
Because there have been times when transportation costs have been cut, and this is very difficult for students to go to the schools.
Entonces, ustedes como personas que nos representan, de verdad me gustaría mucho que se comprometieran y que nos dieran una solución, pero una solución de verdad. Que no hubiera esa división, porque yo pienso que este país no está hecho de yo soy blanco, tú eres de color o X persona viene de otro país. Estados Unidos está hecho de todas las personas de todas las partes del mundo.
So I'm asking that you do not discriminate against people of color or different origin, country of origin, because the United States comprised of people from multiple places and diversity.
Estoy muy agradecida por todo lo que este país me ha dado y por todo el apoyo que nos ha brindado en cierta manera. Me gustaría de verdad que ustedes como un alto mando de verdad se comprometieran nuevamente y nos lo hicieran saber que de verdad están con la comunidad latina y su educación, ya que los niños es el futuro de todos nosotros. Gracias.
And I am very thankful for the great opportunity that I have in this country, and I would like to ask you to promise that we're going to continue providing opportunities for our students, Hispanic students. Thank you.
Now, before the next person approaches the microphone, if this has to do with Lincoln Annex School, we would like to move on to the next topic. We have addressed the matter. And so if anyone else would like to discuss Lincoln Annex School, I invite you to reach out to central office with any other questions. And to the parent that was just at the microphone, I would just like to address that comment. Has she already left? I didn't see where she went. I do just want to say that that comment was offensive regarding our district being discriminatory against Latinos. Our board is a 9-member board, 4 of which of those members are Latino. And in our business of education, we do not look at race or ethnicity when it comes to education. We are here to educate all of our students, regardless of, again, their race, their ethnicity, their gender identity, their migratory status. Those are not things that we look at when we educate our children in this district. And so I do just want to say that that was extremely offensive. Now, if anyone has any new business to address, please approach the microphone.
Hello, good evening, members of the board. You already say that no more about Lincoln Annex. I'm just going to say something very short. My name is Maria Chiquito. I'm talking not just for me, but for every single parent over here, that please, if you receive any offer from the hospital, please say no and think about our kids and about the neighborhood over there, because we don't have any more schools. Okay, thank you.
I may not be a licensed educator, but I've worked at the summer camp in my hometown for 7 years for what that's worth, and gotten to the point where I run 2 music classes. On average at work, I spend 8 hours a day with those kids as a sort of teacher and mentor and friend. And if there's one thing I've learned from working with kids, it's that you don't only work with them, but you work for them.
Esta introducción para el beneficio de la comunidad. Puedo no ser la enfermedad de licencia, pero he trabajado en el campamento de verano en mi ciudad durante 7 años por lo que valga. Y he llegado al punto en que dirijo 2 clases de música, y medio trabajo 8 horas al día con niños durante el punto de verano.
yourself and you don't work for their parents, you don't work for your boss, and you certainly don't work for any outside corporations. Children are first and foremost your clients.
No trabajas para ti, no trabajas para sus padres, no trabajas para tu jefe y ciertamente no trabajas para ninguna compañía. Los niños son todos sus clientes.
I understand the politics of any decision in New Brunswick are more complicated than those of any given individual, but I believe that if you were to sell the school, you would be failing your clients and thus failing to do your job.
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt you, however, we do have Dr. Fontanes who is translating for anyone that needs Spanish speaking, so the translation is not required.
What's more is people who work for children, you would be failing as role models, giving in to bad influences and refusing to stand up to a bully, putting that bully's interests before those of the children.
Entiendo que la política de cualquier decisión en el Brunswick es más complicada que la de cualquier persona, pero creo que si se vendiera la escuela estaría fallando a sus clientes. Y por lo tanto, no podría hacer su trabajo.
But if RWJ really wishes to make the world and the city a more livable place, as it is the purpose of the hospital, correct, to keep life intact, then you will hold them to that standard and put the children's interests first, because they are your equals. Do your job as members of an education system and demonstrate that equality, not only between the children and yourselves, but between the families that live and learn in New Brunswick and the people who wish to develop it without their say. Failing to demonstrate that equality empowers developers to rearrange the city and dislocate its citizens. Developers who, in their carelessness, refuse to stand against gentrification and refuse to stand against racism in America. Since you stand against these things, you should not sell the school. If you do, the message is clear.
Thank you for your time. I did mention earlier if anyone else needed to discuss the issue with Lincoln Annex, or the subject rather, you can reach out to central office. Now, if anyone else has any new business to discuss, please approach the microphone.